Alright, so Black Christmas, released in 1974, directed by Bob Clark, starring Olivia Hussey as the main protagonist in this film, Jess. You know, for me, yes, I understand this is one of the most influential horror films ever made. It's a very famous Canadian horror film, and it rivals Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween, as far as famous independent horror films goes. But it doesn't quite live up to the hype for me. Now, let me explain. My positives for this would be that there is some eeriness, there's definitely some creepiness, and there's a lot of strange vibes in this film, and it's very disturbing. There's a lot of things that are really disturbing as far as the phone calls go by the main antagonist in this movie, Billy, who is an unhinged, raving psychotic. You know, I mean, the guy's a few fries short of a Happy Meal, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's fucking crazy. He's batshit insane. I don't really understand his motivations for the kills he does in this film. The kills themselves, most of them are off screen. There's a few that are shown, but there is a lot of theater to the mind in this movie. And most of the characters, you know, I don't really care about them. I don't. I didn't have no interest in none of the characters. They all seem boring and annoying to me. Most of them are nothing but useless drunks. Especially the main woman that runs this sorority, like this elderly type of woman. All she does is walk around looking for liquor bottles everywhere. She gets one out of the toilet. She finds one in a closet. She's constantly staying drunk and just talking dumb shit. And I didn't give a fuck when she died. All of the characters in this are like just scale one characters, one dimensional. I don't find any interest in none of them. Jess is okay, but her whole subplot with her boyfriend about an abortion is just takes me out of it every time I try to watch this. And I've tried to watch this film on 2 separate occasions, but I always zone out like 20 minutes in. It just bores the hell out of me. Other than the disturbing, creepy phone calls and the climactic ending at the end with the confrontation between Billy and Jess, I couldn't care less about this movie. I mean, yes, there's, like I said, some creepiness and eeriness, but and the soundtrack is good. The piano theme is pretty cool, but it kind of just ruins it for me with how boring and bland the characters are. Like, as soon as you get introduced to a few of them, one of them was just loudmouth drunk bitch played by Margaret Kidder, and she's hot, but her character's annoying as fuck. She just stays drunk and smokes cigarettes the entire time, and when she dies, it's a cool, eerie, creepy death, but I didn't really give a fuck. I was like, yes, kill this bitch, I don't care. And I hate to say it, but if Jess would have died at the end, which they kind of leave it ambiguous, the ending, but you can pretty much say, yes, she probably didn't make it out. But I really wouldn't have cared. I just didn't give a fuck, you know? And her and Billy are like the only thing I can think of that is remotely positive for this. Other than that, my negatives would be the characters are boring as shit. The pacing is extremely fucking slow. So, and it's, you know, it's a product of its time. It was made in the 70s. That's back when slow burn films were a hit, you know, as far as cinemas go back then. And you kind of got to be a fan of that kind of thing to really get into it. But me, there are some slow burn films I can get into, like Halloween. There's a few others. Even Dracula, the 1931 Dracula film by Bram Stoker, you know, or it's based on the Bram Stoker novel. I can get into that and watch that any day. But Black Christmas, it's just boring as hell to me. And that's funny, you know, because Dave McRae just recently released his fan-made sequel to this film, set 50 years later, called It's Me, Billy. And that film is everything that this movie wasn't. It gives you characters that you genuinely care about. There's a bond there between 3 girls that feels real and feels authentic, feels genuine. It doesn't feel faked, or it doesn't feel like it's too much and just trying way too hard. But this movie, Black Christmas 74, I couldn't care less about it, y'all. It's boring as fuck to me. I've never got into it. I'll probably never be a fan of this film. But, you know, that's just the way it is sometimes. But let me know what y'all think down below.